Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Courtside Soundoff podcast once again. I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only Angel Ortega. A lot to talk about this week. Obviously, we got UFC Austin to go over, one of the greatest fight night cards of all time. UFC Vegas 57 going down this weekend from the UFC Apex. And Bellator is back with Bellator 282. Before we get all of that, as always, we're brought to you by RogueEnergy.com. If you want 10% off your order at RogueEnergy.com, use the code SOUNDOFF at checkout. This code SOUNDOFF at checkout for 10% off of our energy needs. Father's Day just came and went, but still, get your dad something. Go to RogueEnergy.com. Get your mom something. Get your friend something. RogueEnergy.com. Buy yourself something, you bitch. All right, RogueEnergy.com. Code SOUNDOFF at checkout. 10% off. Angel, you agree, right? Love Rogue Energy.
Love it, bro. Fucking love it. Better than that G Fuel shit, bro.
we don't even acknowledge them. Don't even acknowledge them. That's how good Rogue Energy is. All right, go get them. Anyways, code SOUNDOFF at checkout, 10% off. Anyways, last Saturday night from the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, UFC Austin, the main event. And before we even get to the main event, just probably the best, not even probably, arguably the best fight night of the year. UFC London is the only one I could think that compete with it, and I'd honestly argue this is probably better than UFC London. But look, man, they rarely venture outside of UFC Apex for a fight night. And damn, dude, I am very happy that they did for this one. You can tell the crowd was loving this shit, and so was I. As far as the main event goes, there was some controversy, sadly. There's one drawback in this card, and it was that there was some controversy. The featherweights, top 10 featherweights, scrapping it out. Josh Emmett, Cal McCater, putting on I don't want to say a fight of the year contender. It was a very great fight. That being said, look, man, Josh Emmett, he extends his win streak, moves it to 5. He wants the winner of Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski, going down in about 2 weeks. This fight was phenomenal. However, did he really win? Two of the judges thought so. 48-47, 47-48, 48-47 for Josh Emmett. He wins via split decision. Angel, I'll go and toss it straight to you, my man. Do you think he did enough to deserve the win? Obviously, I think most people kind of grant that he did go out, get a bit of an early lead, but I think most people generally had Cal McCater coming away with the win on Saturday night.
Like you said it there, man. I thought Josh Emmett did good, what seemed early on. But then as the fight went on, I thought Cal McCater actually came back, rallied up, and was doing the better work, man. I thought, like I told you in the pre-show, I thought Josh Emmett was throwing bombs, but they weren't connecting. They were being blocked. They were not being fully absorbed. And I mean, just because you throw heavy shots and they connect on the side of the arm and shit, and you know, on the gloves, it doesn't mean it's causing damage, you know.
Mm. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Look, man, I feel like we talk about this probably once a week at this point, every single week, about how it's a bad decision. And even this decision, is it like a robbery of the year? No, there's been worse. But at the same time, man, I always say every single time there's a decision like this, there can be a close but clear fight. I thought this was a close fight, but I also thought it was clear. Calvin Kattar won. I gave him round 2, I gave him round 4, and I gave him round 5. And I don't think it was that hard to score either. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, I will give credit to Josh Emmett because, well, I think that Calvin Kattar deserved the win, dude. I think Josh Emmett in his career at this point is honestly, it's something that we really don't talk about enough. He's 37 years old. He's never a guy that was supposed to be a contender. I mean, I was around back in 2017, 2018, whenever he upset Ricardo Lamas on like 2 weeks' notice. He jumped in the top 5, and he stayed in there ever since. And through all the injuries, I mean, tore his ACL against Shane Burgos, he still came out with the win. He's gone through a lot of shit, and you honestly love to see it. And I think he deserves a title shot. I don't think it'll go well for him. But even, all this being said, I do think that he, full props to him, but I thought he lost on Saturday night. But got a feel for Calvin Kattar, but that's the way it goes. Regardless, though, still a great fight, and honestly, a great performance by both guys. And I hope both of them get to fight for a title down the line. But we'll have to see what happens. Look, man, our co-main event was supposed to be Joe Lozon, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, and this shit is getting to be like Tony Habib, man.
I saw that on Twitter, man. I hope not. That's a scary thought, but it's not. I don't know if it's on the same level, but definitely that was a very freak. I mean, did you read what happened?
So from my understanding, Joe's like his knee like locked up, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And it was something like it just locked up and he couldn't get it straightened back out. He got straightened back out like at one point. But that's about it, you know. He got straightened out but not in enough time for, for the fight to actually happen. It's freak shit at this point. We've had two cancellations, not just two cancellations on fight day nonetheless. Like that's so bizarre.
I know, fucking Cowboy eats the wrong sushi and now the fucking Joe's knee locks out.
I know, it's fucking heartbreaking, dude. And apparently they're not, according to Dana, and obviously they can change his mind, but apparently he said he's not going to try and rebook the fight.
Wow.
Which is kind of shitty in my opinion. Because I mean, you can just flex him in another 2 weeks, but just have him fight at welterweight. Like there's no reason cutting him weight, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It is definitely, it's so frustrating though. It's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, and it's like, why not, man? Like, who else
are they gonna fight? I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. Like, legitimately, like, if you had to pick another opponent for Cowboy that was a legend, it made sense. Like, who do you want to do? Jim Miller? Or, I don't know. Do you want to do Court McGee? Like, I don't know. I feel like Joe Lozon Cowboy made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's usually kind of weird with their matchmaking when it comes to older guys. Generally, it's either going to go ahead and have them get fucked up by like a young lion, or they'll go ahead and just match them up with.
But no, that's not what's going to happen.
Yep.
He's going to fight fucking Kazim Shamat.
Yeah, fucking apparently, dude.
You want something crazy? I didn't know Joe had been in the UFC since like 2006 or something like that. Dude, I didn't know.
Do you not know the Joe Lozon story?
Dude, I didn't know Joe Lozon had been in the UFC longer than Cowboy.
Oh yeah, and it's not even close. Let me tell you the Joe Lozon story, Angel, because it's funny. I heard Chael's son talk about this in like last week before they got.
Shout out Uncle Chael.
Shout out Uncle Chael. He's like, I don't think the Joe Lozon story has ever been told like in a well enough fashion.
And now you can retell it, Josh, so it's gonna be even better.
He's a guy that was like, and he still is. He's like a computer nerd. He's like a video game guy. I believe he went to college, and I think he got his like bachelor's degree in like some like computer science. I think he like got the call to fight on short notice against Jens Pulver in like 2006. And for those of you that are not aware, Jens Pulver was the baddest motherfucker on the planet in 2006, at least in regards to like the UFC. Like he was the former lightweight champion. He left to go to Pride, and he came back around 2006. And I don't believe there was a champion at the time, because this is right around the time UFC was bringing back the lightweight division. Because after Jens left, they held like a tournament to form the champion, and I think there was like a draw with Cal Uno and BJ Penn. So they just cut the entire fucking division for like years. So back comes Jen Pulver. Supposed to fight Joe Lozon, supposed to walk through him. Instead, Joe Lozon knocks him the fuck out. For all intents and purposes, Joe Lozon was the best fighter on the planet in 2006, essentially, when it comes to lightweight. And then,
for that one fight.
Despite this, he does not get a title shot. He does not get like the opportunity to he does not grant a champion or anything. In fact, they're like, hey, we really didn't expect this to go the way that it did. So you wanna go on The Ultimate Fighter? It's like, sure, who are the coaches gonna be? Oh yeah, the guy you just knocked out, Jens Pulver and BJ Penn. They're gonna go out and fight.
Oh my god.
So that had to be awkward. But essentially, he's a guy who's been around in the game for 16 years now, fighting at the top level. You look at his record on paper, it's not stellar. But he got in the UFC, dude. He's 38 now, so back, what would he be in 2006? 22? He's in the UFC for such a long time. He's fought everybody. Like, he hasn't fought Cowboy, but they're working on that, Like, he's fought in the top of the top and beaten a lot of them, lost to a couple of them, but he's beaten the shit ton of them, dude. I mean, like, he was very close to fighting for the title on a couple of occasions. If we're being completely honest, he probably should have got a belt after he beat fucking Jen Pulver. So, yeah, man. I mean, the Joe Walls, he's not a guy that's discussed enough, I think, in the OG guys. Like, I understand part of it is because he's not been super active, but the guy's been around for a long, long time. But, yeah, man, that's essentially it. Yeah, he's been in the UFC for a long time, man. So
that's cool. That's crazy, man. I gotta respect that. He's and like you said about it's always the jiu-jitsu guys. I remember Eddie Bravo talked about this, Josh. Where he's like, dude, the good guys are never the fucking super big fucking muscleheads, dude. It's always the nerdy computer geeky guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean that's his, and that's his thing. He loves jiu-jitsu, right? It's his main his was it probably his first martial or not his first martial art, but probably his main one. You know that he fell in love with his specialty.
Yeah, man. I really hope he gets a proper retirement fight because him and Cerrone, they're gonna go in the Hall of Fame one day. That's just the reality.
Dude,
and I got into an argument.
You see 300, Josh?
Yeah, I got into an argument with this guy on Twitter. Like, because I said something similar to that, like a while ago. Might even when this fight first got booked, like, dude, no, they're not. Like, I feel like some people don't realize how non-strict the UFC Hall of Fame is. UFC Hall of Fame is just like, whoever you want, you know? Like,
Josh, I could be in the UFC Hall of Fame.
Matt Serra's in, so that essentially opened the floodgates.
I mean, he was a champ.
I like Matt Serra.
the only you gotta think about it. The only argument there is that he was a champ, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but Uriah Faber wasn't a UFC champ either, and he's in.
True. Well, there you go.
So, and because of the fight wing, essentially anybody can get in. I mean, Diego's in.
The disrespect on Matt Serra, man. He beat GSP.
No, I love Matt. I fucking do.
And he won tough.
Huh?
And he won tough.
He did win tough. I love Matt Serra. I hope people don't take that the wrong way. The reality is Matt Serra was like a very good guy for his time, and a lot of people look at his record and they see that it's not great, but the dude fought in UFC essentially his entire career.
Isn't it like 14-6, something like that?
No, I think it might even be like 11-7.
Are you sure? I could have sworn.
I'm like 99% sure.
I'm on it. It's 11-7. Yeah, you were right.
I can't remember what I had for like lunch yesterday, but I can remember random fighters' records from like 2006.
Dude, it's crazy though. His UFC tenure wasn't that long. It was only from like not including the Ultimate Fighter, and if we including the Ultimate Finale, it was only from 2006 2010.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those fights against GSP, one a loss, and then they were like, "Do something. You want to fight Matt Hughes?" Matt Hughes beats him, fights Frank Trigg, wins, and then what is that? Chris Little, and then lost.
Yeah, Matt Serra was a good guy, especially for his time, but, you know, I think him and guys like Faber being in it, I don't know, it definitely...
Oh, no, he was already in the UFC. I forgot they did a season with fighters they were on. Yeah. Why the fuck did they do? Isn't that so weird? It was
called Tough 3, like, Redemption, maybe? Or something?
It's Ultimate Fighter Season 4 Comeback.
Comeback, excuse me. Yeah.
That's what it was. Was it so it's because the person who won the season got the title shot. That was the whole
that was the whole gimmick, yeah.
I
mean Matt Serra, everyone remembers Matt Serra upsetting GSP. Oh my god, what do they call him? The Michael Jordan of BJJ, Travis Lutter, was putting a whooping on Anderson up until the 3rd round, so granted he missed weight for the title fight, so he wouldn't have won it anyways, but like Anderson had to come back in that one. People forget. He mounted him, landed some fucking huge shots. That's an underrated banger right there. But
UFC 69 shootout. I need to get that fucking poster. That looks sick.
UFC 69. Let me go ahead and look that one up.
I like it.
I'm going to tell you this now. Whenever you move into an apartment, or not even to, I don't know where the fuck you're going to move, but whenever you move, I'm going to get you a poster similar to how you did for me, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
It's gonna be some meme. It's gonna be memey, isn't it?
It might be memey. It very well might be. But you'll figure it out when it comes. Yeah, man. But you know, what was my original point? Oh yeah, Joe Lozon and Cerrone. They're gonna go in the Hall of Fame.
That's a sick poster, though. I don't know. Did you see it?
No, I looked it up. That is a really good. That's a really good one. A lot of those older UFC posters are pretty fucking sick.
It's definitely not as high quality as now. It's not the greatest, but there's something about it that's just like
it's a novelty of it.
Yes.
But yeah, man, I really hope they rebook that fight. I really, really do. Just because.
Holy shit! I just saw who's on this card. Dude, Roger Huerta, 17-1 at the time. Holy fuck. Was the downfall right after this? I'm curious.
Something like that.
I'm gonna find out real quick. It wasn't too long after. I'll put it like that. Damn, the fall from grace. What went wrong? Oh man. At least he's not fighting anymore, right?
Yep.
I mean, we saw his last fight, man. That's why I bring it up. I'm not saying it in a bad way.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a bad motherfucker in his prime, though.
Shout out.
Yeah, man. Because you know what's interesting about the Joe Lozon Cerrone fight? Like, who else are they gonna fight? You know what I mean?
That's where the point originated, Josh.
Yeah, because bring it back. There's a couple of guys, but like I really think the UFC should just say fuck it and not really make like a Legends League, not like a Legends division, but like you have so many good guys. Like I can name a bunch of off the top of my head guys that you can just make like good matchups with that are all around that same weight. Like
who could he legitimately? Is there anybody he can rematch from the past that would be a good fight? I brought up Jim Miller for Joe Lozon the third. Fuck it, at UFC 300.
Yeah,
300 and then the third. You know what I mean?
God, that'd be such a good fucking fight. Both of them were so good too.
Would RDA even be a competitive fight though?
No, RDA would not be competitive.
I was gonna say he lost to him twice, which is it's tough, man. But you know what I mean?
And he got butchered in the second one. I think what's interesting. So I think Cerrone. I said if they didn't book the Cerrone Lozon fight, I wanted to see Cerrone versus Nick Diaz at 170.
I forgot they fought before.
No, they didn't. Nate fought Cerrone.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but he did have beef with Nick. I mean, who didn't at that time? But
it sucks that Yves Edward isn't around. I feel like that would have been an interesting one too. If he was still fighting. I mean, I guess isn't Yves still doing like one-offs? Like he did a grappling tournament.
He does grappling, I believe.
Yeah, no, it'd be sick if Yves Edwards was still around. But granted, Yves Edwards is fucking 45 now, so I don't know how he's gonna do an MMA fight.
Yeah, but there's a couple of old dudes that they can go ahead and stack them with each other, but they just don't do.
Dude, no Benson
Matt
Henderson
Brown versus Cerrone too. At 155, there's not much for Joe Lozon. Maybe he'd move up to 170 for a fight. I don't know. But, yeah. But anyways, man, I think we spent enough time on that one. As far as the rest of the UFC Austin card, this is a banger. This is like straight up top to bottom, just all sorts of bangers. What are like fights you're looking to highlight the most?
Oh man, we gotta go one down then to what turned into the co-main. Kevin Holland with another stellar performance in beautiful Texas, aka Batman, bringing it for the hometown.
AKA Black Man, bringing it back for the hometown.
Whoa, Josh.
No, that's what he said. Don't get.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. That's a reference. I'm not saying.
I mean, he's a black man, right?
He said at the media day. He said, you guys call me Batman. I'm Black Man. That's what I am.
What a king,
right?
King shit only, dude.
Man, I love me some Kevin Holland, man. This kid, man. I mean, I call him. He's 29 years old, but
it's crazy how Dana didn't want him, dude.
I know.
And then they called him on short notice.
It took him to fight Thiago Santos at light heavyweight.
Was it light heavyweight?
No, actually, I think this was
185.
185, but yeah, he was so much smaller than Thiago.
I mean, if I'm pretty sure if Kevin Holland still fought at 185 and Thiago Santos cut down to 185, he'd still be smaller.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, there you go. But yeah, man, it's crazy that Dana didn't want him, and now it's like this is one of Dana's like favorite guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's hard not to love him,
He's like, if he could shut his mouth, maybe I would have signed him.
Yeah, it's hard not to love him. He's riding a 2-fight win streak. He's beaten a couple of really good dudes. He said he wants to fight Sean Brady next. That's a hell of a matchup, dude.
That's a hell of a call out too, man. Like, didn't even try to go for like a number 10 or under. He was like, I'm going for, cause Sean Brady's in the top 10 now, right?
Yeah, Sean Brady might be ranked top 5. I think he's like around 6 or 7, I think.
We'll check. I'm mad curious.
He's number 9, excuse me.
Yeah, right inside the top 10. Yeah, so he was shooting high, man. I gotta respect though, cause.
Well, Sean Brady said that he wanted Bilal Muhammad, but he said if he couldn't get him, he said like a couple other guys recently, and Kevin Holland was one of those guys.
Really, I respect that for fighting down.
Yeah, so he's fucking ready, dude. He's ready to go. So I'm excited.
So he just wants to fight.
He does. Yeah, man, I am very, very excited to see if he gets that fight. And since we're on that one, let's just go one down, dude. Joaquin Buckley, Alberdurev. I didn't know they realized they were former like training partners. I did not realize that until they mentioned on the broadcast. And they had some heat, dude. Like they were talking shit during this fight. This is a really, really fun one.
You had some thoughts about this fight, man. You thought someone was being set up here.
I did think Joaquin Buckley might be getting set up. Dude,
But it wasn't that. They were setting up Joaquin Buckley.
They were setting up Almadurek, man. They were setting him up. Yeah, man. I thought he was gonna have way more success with the wrestling. But man, it didn't even matter, man. Joaquin Buckley was, like some fighters, like you could just tell, like they're on, like it's their night, like they cannot miss. Joaquin Buckley was landing that left straight at will, dog. Like he cannot miss with that.
In his kicks, bro. He was landing all sorts of kicks that night too.
Yeah,
all sorts of. He dropped him with a kick right to the head.
Yeah, he's 20. He just turned 28. I'm very excited to see where he goes in the future.
You remember when we called out Darren Till? And he was like, who the fuck is that guy?
Dude, hey, that fight kind of makes sense now. Who is Darren Till fighting? He's fighting, is it Jack Hermanson?
I think he might be.
I think next month he is. I think he is.
Yeah, I think he's fighting Jack Hermanson.
Yeah, man, I like me some Joaquin Buckley a lot, man. I really do. I think that kid has a lot of potential. I think
it's sick way to, look, a little sad that it ended because of a doctor stoppage. It had to end though.
Yo, but he beat the piss out of him though.
Oh, no. We knew, I'm not gonna lie, we knew where the outcome was kind of going. Obviously anything could happen. But man, it always sucks when it's an injury, but granted though, no. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to get at here? But respect to him for obviously doing it in the fashion he did, because clearly he was on the winning side the whole time. He was probably, without a doubt, he won both rounds that they did get to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And if they would have let the fight go on, which they wouldn't have, but if they could have, I only imagine the performance only would have continued and maybe it finished. So maybe it's a good thing it happened. It did, but hey man, it sucks. Hopefully that eye comes down quick and he can kind of get a good turnaround, because he's a really good guy, and I think he has a lot still to offer, obviously. And I'm making it sound like it's the end or anything, but it was just a really tough loss for him, and obviously that fucks with fighters a lot. But man, to bring it back to Joaquin Buckley, shout out to him, because I think he had he had a few finishes in a skid, and then he's back on a 3-fight win streak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So
yeah,
I might be wrong there, but
no, I think you're right.
But shout out to him, and I wonder what's next, man. I wonder if they're going to try to get him someone just outside of the 15, maybe see how much they can push him, or if they are going to maybe give him a lower end of 15 guy, or try to find some other guy who he can maybe have a banging performance against to open up a card.
I think he deserves a ranked guy at this point, anyways. I think he deserves a ranked guy, but
at 185, I've always said it, man. 185, in my opinion, is the most open division right now.
For sure, especially when it comes to contenders. Izzy seems like he's got championship. I think he's gonna have that strap for a while. But
yeah, and a lot of those guys have fought for a title.
Man, there's a reason why Sean Strickland, in Alex Pereira, neither one of those guys you think of top contender, but they're gonna fight for the belt soon, the winner of it. So, yeah, man. But
wait,
regardless,
did they announce that?
I've not officially, but I'm 99% sure.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said Michelle Pereira, Sean Brady. I thought you said that. My bad. Is that what you said?
No. I said oh my god, I can't believe I forgot their name. Alex Pereira and Sean Strickland.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why I thought you said Sean Brady. It's fucking Sean Brady, Sean Strickland. Michelle Pereira, Michelle Pereira, Alex Pereira. It was just, my brain just read it weird.
Yeah, it's there's just.
That'd be a fun matchup though. Michelle Pereira, Sean Brady. I just came up with that.
That's a good matchup, dude.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, man, I think we should go ahead and move on one down. Damir Azmagulov, Guram Kudaladze. I think I said that. I think I said it pretty well. Gutam Kudaladze.
This one came with some controversy.
Yeah, this was a controversial one, but I honestly had no problem with it. I thought this was a super close fight.
I thought Damir came back. I thought it was a really hard comeback after that first round. I got to give credit to the guy, because I was like, damn, bro, you are getting lit the fuck up right now. And I don't know how you're going to deal with it. But there was another fight where he kind of came from behind, or he got into some trouble early on, and he came back. So, if that doesn't show kind of composure and maturity in him, there's a reason he's 23-1. This guy's been through some shit.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. This fight was close, dude. This fight was really, really close. And I didn't have an issue with it just because you know what fucked me up, man, is realizing both these guys, like, they're not even ranked. Like, they're that fucking good.
That's 155 for you, man.
I know, man, but even then, it's like, it's still mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Regardless, though, man, I had no problem with the result. I mean, did you feel the same way?
No, I thought Demir won. I was really confused why people were like going off. I'm like, guys, it was a really strong first round and it was pretty close, but I thought Demir won it. Like, I thought it was his fight.
Yeah, same page. I did think it was close, but I didn't,
Yeah, no. I don't think it was a robbery at all. I don't know why people are kind of mad. Maybe I'd have to rewatch it, but I definitely was just kind of like, when they announced it, I was like, oh, yeah, 100%. And then I went on Twitter and I saw controversy and I was like, hold up. The fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same page. Yeah, I didn't understand the cries of robbery at all. I'm sure there was more of that in the main event, but regardless.
Right.
Moving one down, Gregory Rodriguez knocking out Julian Marquez. I don't got a whole lot to say on this one outside of goddamn what a finish, dude. Gregory Rodriguez.
Right?
That man got some hands, dude. So,
it's so crazy though. He did that to Julian Marquez. And dude, Julian's such a tough bitch, son of a bitch, not tough bitch. Completely apologize. Tough son of a bitch, man.
Please don't kill him, Julian.
Dude, he lives in Kansas City, dude. It wouldn't take a lot of effort.
I know.
But yeah, no, like, dude, he ate some shots and he was trying to he was doing all the right things to survive. You know what I mean? You know when like, I know Big John's talked about it. He's like, when you get into situations you're hurt, you need to show the ref that you're trying to get at, like, you're still there and trying to get at it or try to avoid it. And he was circling out. He was trying to go for, trying to get a leg, go for a takedown. Like, there was nothing else he could have done. You know what I mean? Like, that was the maximum effort out of a fighter. I'll tell you what.
100%.
And when he was hurt, he was throwing right back, man. Hoping
that's what he does.
And he was throwing right back, man. And I thought he had tagged him for a second. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna get crazy. Because for a second there, dude, they were both slinging back and forth. I don't know, like, they were trading like 1-for-1 there for a second, and I was just like, dude, this is about to get crazy. And I mean, and then he caught him, man. He dropped him down, and that was it. But it was just so much damage accumulated that there was just nothing that Julian could have done at that point.
Yeah, there's nothing he could have done, but dude, he tried his best. Julian Marquez still one of the best. He's one of my guys. He's still one of my guys. You know what I mean? Always comes to bang. Never been in a boring fight. And I hope to see him back in there soon, just because, like, not soon because he got knocked out, but like,
it'd be at least 6 months.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, he's taken a lot of time off during his fights, just for various reasons. I know that he got injured after his what fight was it? The loss to Alessio Teixeira, and then he had that banger of a fight with Sam Alvey. That was well over a year ago, and I'm not sure what the whole
really
was. Yeah, it was April 2021.
Man, I didn't realize that was that long ago. I remember that fight like it was just like a few months ago, man. It didn't seem that long ago. Wow.
Okay, so yeah, he was scheduled. He's had a couple of fights canceled. He was supposed to fight Jordan Wright in October, then he got pulled because he got sick.
That would have been a fucking banger.
Fuck, they should rebook that one.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Wright's coming off a loss, man. They could do it.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, he had a couple of the fights canceled too. But yeah, once he gets healthy, he's still one of the most entertaining guys. Like,
he's also one of those guys who's marketed himself very well too. He might not be the biggest guy, but he has a podcast. He does some other stuff, and he's done some right things, man. You got to respect that out of a guy. And plus that he has a very entertaining fight style, so he's doing all the right things. So hopefully he comes back, he's healthy, and he can get some fun matchups, competitive ones to help him grow too.
For sure, and full props to Gregory Rodriguez for the victory. But man,
oh yeah, sick.
Sick
job, man. You were on that night. That was your night.
Yeah, and we got to move one on down again, because this lit up MMA Twitter, man. I don't know if you were on it, but man, this really lit him up. So Adrian Yanez, who is one of the most entertaining guys at bantamweight right now. This kid's not ranked, but he's 28 years young, and since joining the UFC, he's had nothing but bangers. Like, he's had all but one fight was a knockout, and that was a close fight of the night with Davey Grant last November, facing Tony Kelly, who at this point is mostly known for anything outside the cage. I mean, he did have a nice win over Randy Costa last December, but he's not really known for his fighting style. He's essentially at this point known as the guy who like chose to drive like 3 days from like I don't know where it was, Louisiana to Vegas. I think it's like a 2-day drive because he didn't want to wear a mask on a plane. And then he also went ahead and he's the guy that said like during Andrea Lee's fight, which happened I think what was that, a month ago? I think a month ago, against referring to Viviane Argero, calling her dirty fucking Brazilian, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this kid's not really liked. And then Adrian Yanez, I think Tony Kelly flipped him off before, like during the introductions, and Adrian Yanez knocked the shit out of him and then flipped him off, which gave us one of the coldest pictures of the year. So
saw that shit on Twitter, bro. I was like,
oh,
damn.
that shit was cold, man.
It was, and I think Tony Kelly went on Twitter and still said "fuck you" to Adrian Yanez, which I was like, man, that's a grudge right there.
Yeah, man. He's he's out there, man.
Yeah, man, do you. It was a sick performance, man. I mean, he was on that night. That was Adrian Yanez. There was a lot of those performances where the guys were just on. You know what I mean? They were just on, and girls too. Don't want to not give them attention to, because there were some ladies on here who performed very well as well. But yeah, that was another, like, I think Adrian Yanez probably finishes pretty much whatever dude you had in there, dude.
Dude, for sure. I mean, he looked on point. This kid, he's not ranked when we're filming this really, really early in the week, but if he's not ranked when the rankings come out tomorrow, then
could he be? Could he break into the top 15?
He should be. He's like 6-0 with like 5 knockouts.
Let's see. Who's near the
15
bottom?
is Rafael Assunção.
God, but Rafael Assunção's so fucking good.
He's lost like 5 fights in a row though.
But you gotta think of, dude, that's a very competitive bottom 12 though. Ricky Simone, Sean O'Malley.
No, for sure. I still think he should be over Assunção though.
No,
that's just me though. But, anyways. Moving on down, man. As far as the undercard goes, what are some other fights you're looking to highlight?
Oh, man. Let me see. Jeremiah Wells. Holy fuck. This is another. Man. That, dude. There was I can't remember how I caught eye of him. Obviously, he fought he fought Blood Diamond, which, holy fuck. We remember that too.
Yeah.
But going to that, I feel like I remember him going to that Willie Alice fight, or I know I had seen him somewhere before. I don't know what it was, or maybe it's just him, because dude, this guy is a savage. You see him, he looks like a fucking killer, dude. I don't know what it is. I vibe with it though. Yeah, no, dude, he's 35. What the fuck?
I know, right? I literally saw that shit right now. That is insane to me. He does not look 35. Black
don't crack.
Oh, that's facts. Yeah.
Bro, he laid it on Court McGee though. I did not think he'd do Court McGee like that. When I saw this matchup, I was like, oh, okay, we got Court McGee back. But I'm like, Jeremiah Wells kind of a killer. But I was like, I don't know. Court McGee has been around a while. He's not one of those guys who's been getting knocked out. Bro, this man hasn't had he hasn't been finished since 2016, and that was by Santiago Ponzinibbio.
Jesus.
Prior to that, this man had never been knocked out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Jeremiah Wells, 35 years old, fucking killer, dude.
Absolute killer. Yeah, that was an insane knockout. Especially Court McGee, he's had a nice run. He had a nice run up into this fight, man. No.
Yeah, he was trucking along, man. He was doing all the right things. Much respect to the former Tough winner, I believe, right?
I think so. Or he fought on Tough. I don't know if he was.
No, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
he won the 11th season.
He came back. Remember? I remember that was like a big thing. Someone got injured and he came back in replacement. He made it through and he won the finale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Hell of a performance by him. And, yeah, man. Moving one on down. Ricardo Ramos knocked out Danny Chavez, a spinning back elbow. Ricardo Ramos, this kid, you know, he's not, I don't think he'll ever be a straight up contender. I mean, he's only 26, but this kid's always been in fucking bangers fights. And it's crazy to think about how young he is. So remember him knocking out, what's his name? Firas Zahabi's brother. Back at UFC 217, all the way back in 2017. He was like 21 when he did that shit, dog. Like, this is his second knockout with a spinning back elbow. First was back against, Adiman Zahabi back in 2017. So.
He's been active too. Like, very active. Like, since 2019. Like, since his whole tenure. That's crazy.
He's getting that experience, dog. He's staying active.
His only losses were Lerone Murphy, Said Nurmagomedov, and Zabira Tukhmanov. Very, very hard name to pronounce.
Oh, Zabira Tukhmanov?
Yeah.
Also known as Habib's training partner that was really, really good and also smacked Connor at UFC 229.
Oh, you love to hear it, don't you?
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. This is also a rough night for the OGs because Cody Stamann, Eddie Wineland, man.
Oh, man. Eddie Wineland retiring.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but Cody Stamann gets back on the right track, knockout inside of a minute. Eddie Wineland, that was his 5th loss in his last 6 fights, decided to hang up the gloves. Former WEC champion, former UFC title challenger. Look, man, if you're going to go and give me your favorite Eddie Wineland moment, what you got?
They haven't been pretty. I'll put it like that. No, I was kidding.
Since you've been watching the sport, he's had some rough moments. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was definitely before my time. I more or less gotta appreciate him. At least for me, my appreciation comes from him as a persona. You know what I mean? Like him as being this legend, knowing of him, and the stash, man. You gotta love the stash. And I recently I looked at his I went on his Instagram and I saw some shit, man. And I gotta appreciate that he's doing some stuff outside of the UFC. You know, he started his official Mustache Mafia business, which is like it's a lifestyle brand. I fuck with that, man. That's cool.
Yeah, that's sick. Eddie Wineland, he's one of those guys that here's a secret of the MMA business, guys. And this is just from my experience of being like a writer and journalist. If you turn over stones in the MMA world, you're gonna find pieces of shit like at every single corner. Like from trainers to fighters to promoters, there's a lot of bad people in this business. You're not gonna find many people who you're not gonna hear somebody say a bad word about. I've never heard a bad fucking thing about Eddie Wineland.
Has Eddie Wineland ever been in any sort of trouble or controversy or been in any sort of back and forth?
Not to my knowledge. Never like a retirement. Not like an arrest. I mean, he's never like had any controversies. He's just been a good dude who comes to bang, has a sick mustache, and he's just that guy.
He's one of those. He's one of the OGs of this weight class too, like big pioneer in it, right? Like there
was a period of time where he was the greatest bantamweight on the planet. So yeah, he was WEC champion back whenever WEC was essentially the best weight class for 135ers because Pride had shut down and UFC hadn't brought it in yet.
He was at one point he was like 17-1, 18-1. He had a really stellar record there for a bit.
Yeah, he was really fucking good. He's one of those dudes. He's one of the OGs. For me personally, I just because like there's not many Eddie Wineland moments that since I've been watching. I've been watching since like 2014. You know, I'm gonna go and put one out there though. Him knocking the shit out of Takeya Mizugaki. That was a good one. It was like a UFC on Fox card. I remember.
That's a win that aged very well.
Yeah, and I liked Takeya Mizugaki a lot. And this is right whenever he fought around the time he fought Cody Garbrandt, and the winner of that was going to get a title shot. And he got knocked out by Cody, but then he's facing Eddie Wineland, you know, winner stays in title contention, and Eddie Wineland just knocked the shit out of him worse than Cody did, like just annihilated him. So yeah, Eddie Wineland was a guy that came to bang. I don't think he really seemed bummed about it. I don't think he really cared. I think it's kind of shitty that he didn't give him his chance on the mic. Cause he put down the gloves. You could tell he was ready, and they still didn't let him like have his moment.
And they did it. Yeah, that's fucked up, man. I mean, they've done it for other people.
We can name names. Fetch Correa got a moment. Felice Herring got a moment. There's a lot of people who got moments, but former champion couldn't. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, if that doesn't show kind of where they thought about him, which is really fucked up because he fought for them so long and took these young lions on, and gave his all, because that's sometimes the guys will go out and not obviously get knocked out, and we're like, oh fuck, that guy got fucked, but it's like, dude, we don't think about the hours of preparation, the weight cut, the dieting, the cardio, the extra hour of weights, the extra hour of cardio because you just want to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did that for 48 fights or whatever?
He's 41 fights, yeah.
41 fights, yeah.
And most of those were in the WC or the UFC, so.
Yeah, and those are all legit training camps where he had to put money out of his pocket and his time and his life, and that's really fucked up, man.
Yeah, but Hey, look, man, he didn't seem that bummed about it, at least off of his official announcement on his
Yeah,
Instagram.
maybe it's because he's just at peace with it. You know what I mean? He's like, shit, I don't need the big moment. I don't need any of that. I know where I'm at with my life, and I know what I did, and I'm happy with my accomplishments. So maybe that's more or less what it is. And he doesn't. Yeah, of course. Fucking yeah. No, you couldn't. He. That's something that these guys can always say, man. They got to experience something so fun, the lifestyle of a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's something that, average guys like us can only dream of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, look, man, full props to him. I mean, he didn't get his moment, so we're giving his moment right now on totally the same equivalency, on the Courtside Soundoff podcast.
Hey, what do you mean? Fucking bigger, dude. Fucking bigger.
For sure, man. For sure. Joking aside, though, shout out to Evanoff. Hell of a career, man. Hell of a career. Couldn't be happier for him. 19-year veteran. So,
yeah, very,
very happy for him and for him to,
I will say this though, real quick, Josh and Slam. Shout out to Cody though for giving some love to Eddie there at the end. I really appreciate that for him. Obviously, understanding the moment, and obviously he obviously let out some emotions, and I'm sure afterwards he's like, "Fuck, man, I'm happy I celebrated, but it's also hard to see a legend go like that." You know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey, that's how this game goes, dude. I mean, in this game, fighters they either leave at the very, very tip of the top, which is like 5% of the time, or they go out on their back, which is 95% of the time.
That's the one difference in this sport than like football, basketball, or even soccer, where it's like guys get their they go on they're like the announcer like, oh yeah, I'm retiring this year, or they suddenly announce their retirement, and they get to get all the love, and they get the ball, and all that, but for fighters it's just not like that, man. It's people just remember you for your last fight.
Yeah, which is a shame, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, yeah, man. But still, regardless, hell of a career. Moving on down, dude. We're still on UFC Austin, bro. This card just tells you how great it is.
It was Josh. It was the opposite of my sex life. There was a lot of things.
Jesus, dude. It was regardless. Phil Hawes knocking out Jaron Wynn. Dude, Phil Hawes is a guy that you can see it. He has all the skills there. They're all there. But for some reason he just gets caught, or he'll make one mistake, and he's so close though. He's so close to greatness, and he beat the dog shit out of Jaron Wynn, man. Did you see his argument with DC post fight?
What was the? I was so confused. I tried to figure out exactly what happened. What was it? What was the whole situation? Can you give me?
I think I don't know. I don't know.
He said something like, I beat you, or was it I beat you, or you didn't beat me? I don't know, dude. That was really confusing.
He was yelling at DC, and I don't know what about, because obviously DC was on commentary.
I was like, were you calling out DC? Are you trying to make DC come out of retirement? Are you trying to get that payday?
Yeah, and then DC's like, hey, calm down. You didn't beat me. I'm like, oh shit, DC about to.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I fuck, dude. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if it was he was rooting on Jaron Wynn, because Jaron Wynn's his boy. I know Jaron Wynn and DC are boys.
You know what's funny is if you didn't even know that DC and Jaron Wynn were boys,
it's still confusing.
You couldn't even tell on commentary. DC was actually really. Normally, sometimes he's not great about that sort of thing.
But he was praising. He was praising Phil Hawes.
Yeah, and he.
Which must have been hard to do.
Yeah, and I heard him mention when he was talking to Phil Hawes, dude, I didn't want this fight for him. I told him 10 times, don't take this fucking fight. But he probably shouldn't have, because Jaron Wynn hasn't fought in since December 2020. To come back and fight Phil Hawes, man, whew.
Dude, he's also 5'5", 5'6", fighting at 185. By the way, when they were in the cage, they didn't look obviously they're crouched down. The size didn't look as big as you would think.
No.
But it seemed like it should have been so much bigger. But I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Whereas Phil Hawes is shorter.
I don't know, man. Regardless, though, he looked so damn good, dude. He looked very, very good. But, yeah, man. And then really kind of the last fight to talk about, Roman Dolidze knocking out Kyle Dawkins, dude. Roman's a guy who's never really kind of shown the sort of power. His fights in the UFC, he had one knockout that was back in July 2020. But, dude, he looked on fire against Kyle Dawkins. So
he brought it to him, dude. He just brought the fire to him. That's really what it was. He really just you saw it. He put it on him, and once he did, he did not stop.
Yeah, and Kyle Dawkins is a bad man too. So God, that was a hell of a win. Anyways, man, I believe that's enough, Tom. I think we should move on to UFC Vegas 57 going down this weekend, this Saturday from UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. A lightweight main event that is just fucking mwah, dude. Like, this shit is so good. Arman Sarukian, ranked number 11 at lightweight, taking on Mateusz Gamrot, ranked number 12. 18-2, taking on 20-1, two of the hottest lightweights in the UFC. Both these guys actually debuted with a loss. Fun fact for you, Gamrot lost to Guram Kutadze back in October 2020, his debut. Arman Sarukian lost via unanimous decision against Islam Makhachev back in 2019. Since then, neither man has lost since their debut loss in the UFC. Gamrot riding a 3-5 win streak, Sarukian riding a 5. Look, man, I love this fight so much. I'm surprised UFC decided to go with this as a main event. I think it's pretty rare when they actually decide to let, like, a fight that's like two lower ranked guys, they're deciding to let them go at it. And, even, we know the skill levels there, but it's very rare to get somebody, like, outside the top 10 in a main event. But look, man, I love this fight a lot. Tell me what you think about it.
It's a fucking banger, dude. I'm very surprised. I'm kind of heartbroken at the same time because these are two guys that I really like, man, and it's obviously it's always bound to happen, you know. Eventually, when you have two high level guys like this in the rankings, they're going to run into each other at some point. And but I just didn't think it'd be this quick, man. Especially with Gamrot honestly not being signed that long. Sarukian just hitting this peak right now in his career. It's just crazy to me that it's kind of happening now, but I'm living in it and I need to enjoy it because it's going to be a banger of a fight. And it's a tough fight for both guys. I mean, this is a championship level fight, Josh, and it's 5 rounds. Like, genuinely, like, if you, like, these guys are gonna fight like a title's on the line.
Yeah.
Cause there's a lot.
They're gonna be both of them are gonna be fighting for titles soon.
Yeah, that too. Like, it's on the line and, ooh, the heat is heating up, Josh. I'm excited. Like,
you're getting fired up right now, aren't you?
It's been a little while. Like I've told you, dude. Like I don't know why. As of lately, I've been not struggling, but I haven't been like jittery, ready for a fight. Like definitely now that we're talking about this one, I'm vibing with it. You know, I'm kind of like, oh fuck, dude. Like I'm ready for this. Like this is about to like I'm super invested into this fight.
Yeah, man, I'm super invested as well. I am fucking psyched for this fight, man. But look, let's just cut to the chase. This fight is a very interesting stylistic matchup on paper. Both these guys are very, very good at essentially everything. But who do you think is going to walk away with the win on Saturday night?
You know, this is one of these fights where I think we're going to learn about each guy. We're going to see a lot of weaknesses and a lot of strengths. You know, and that's the big thing here. We're going to see what makes these guys what they are. And obviously, it could be a very close fight, or it could be a fucking someone might get caught, whatever, right? It's MMA. Anything can happen. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it just 2 weeks ago in a championship fight, man. And, it's very hard to pick, man. I don't even know exactly. Usually in my head, Josh, I have an idea about how a fight's going to play out. I really don't know how it's going to go with this fight because, I mean, Gamrot showed me some things, but at the same time, he had that initial fight in the UFC where maybe there might have been some initial UFC, you know, like, big jitters, you know, bright lights with the UFC gear on, you know, and then Sarukian, I mean, we've seen everything's been good. He passes the eye test in every department. He has wrestling capabilities. He has the ability to strike. He has a lot of power. His ground and pound is vicious. He can move on the ground. He has good scrambles. With Gamrot, I mean, we've only seen a little bit, man. I mean, we saw him put out Jeremy Stevens, but at the same time, Jeremy Stevens is on the latter half of his career. Nothing too strong, nothing too exciting. And we're here fighting ourselves here in this 5-round main event, and like you said, I'm so surprised they're giving these guys this opportunity to obviously put themselves out there. As far as the matchup itself, though, who I think is gonna win, I'm picking Sarukian, dude. I'm picking Sarukian. I just, for me, and obviously I probably should have looked more into Gamrot. I was aware of Gamrot before he came to the UFC. I didn't know everything about the guy. I was just aware that obviously at the time he was unbeaten. He hadn't lost anybody. He was a champ coming in from, I forgot if his ACA or KSW or whatever. But I knew that he had a very high ceiling and a lot of potential. And now that we're here in the UFC, I've only seen only so much, man. I have these things that I see. He's passing some of the eye tests. I think I just need a little bit more out of him at this level. And I think a lot of questions will be answered about him in this fight, like I mentioned earlier. But with Saryukin, man, I just think Saryukin's the secure pick, man. I think we've seen what he can do on the ground. You saw what he did to Joel Alvarez once he got on top, the kind of damage he caused, the kind of strength he possesses, and the fact that he's put up the kind of performance he has against already like a championship level guy in Islam Makhachev, who granted right now isn't the champ, but we saw the kind of performance he had when he came in on short notice, made the weight cut, came in, fought his heart out and at such a young age, and the fact that he's this old and he's at where he is right now, I only see him getting better, and I see him winning this fight and capturing this victory and getting just that much closer at that rematch and at the title.
Angel, you couldn't stall any longer?
Dude, no, like you know what? It's because I was like, you know, one of the things that's during the stall thing that I've realized is I also I want to make the statements not sound so like clearly drawn out.
Uh-huh.
And no matter what, I was fucked, dude. Like you took so long, you know.
I know. I'm sorry, dude. I tried my best.
I would just end the recording and just wait for me, dude. I had a really nice little promo there too. You're definitely gonna have to.
I will go ahead and edit it. I will go ahead and edit it back. I'm not gonna go ahead and end the recording starting just because that's like a bitch to do.
It just makes it easier to do it like this.
Yeah, it's just easier for me to cut it out like this. But okay, did you make your official pick?
Yeah, I picked Saryukin. So
okay, you picked Saryukin.
I'd say do a silent pause and then go.
Okay, yeah, give me a second and then. Yeah, man, I'm on the same page. I'm on the same page. I think this is Arman Saryukin's time. I really, really do. I think he's been ready for a while. And I've been riding on the train ever since that loss to Makhachev. It's even though he lost, he took him to the limit, man. I mean, a couple of exchanges go a different way, and he beats Islam Makhachev. And he was so young when that fight happened, and he's still young now. He's only 25 years old. I like Gamrot a lot, but I think if you look at his wins, Scott Holtzman was a nice win, but he's very clear. Scott Holtzman is very clearly a level below, even like a top 15 guys. Jeremy Stevens, but don't know how much Jeremy Stevens had left in the tank. In fact, I think seeing him fight in the PFL now, you see that he doesn't have much left in the tank. And I like him a lot, but that's reality. Carlos Diego Ferreira riding a pretty bad losing streak as well. Gamrot's good. I don't think he's Arman Saryukin good. I'm gonna take Arman Saryukin. So.
I feel like we're kind of on the same page. We're Gamrot, as far as the UFC, he's kind of unproven. And look, obviously he was champ outside. He was like 19-0 coming to UFC or 18-0 or whatever it might have been at the time. He was in double digits and unbeaten. Regardless, though, I think there's just question marks in the UFC, and Saryukin is just like we're both saying, he's just a more proven guy. And he just looks like he's it, dude. Like he looks like I think we're yet to see really a flaw. You know what I mean?
Because he's just champion. I have no doubt about it.
And it's just because, and the only reason he probably lost at the time is just because he was young.
Mm-hmm. Took it on short notice too.
That's another thing. Took it on short notice, like I mentioned, before. It was just like I think, like I told you, this fight is only going to answer questions about each guy, and that's actually a great fucking thing because one, that helps them grow, and we get to see where they can improve, and we can see how good they fucking already are. And we already know one of those things to an extent, but we might continue to see it in this fight because you're putting, like they say, iron sharpens iron. This is only going to be that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly thought that the Arman Saryukin's fight against Joel Alvarez was going to answer a lot of questions, and it did answer a lot of questions for me. That guy's a killer. Hard to beat, man.
That guy's a killer, bro. That's
Joel Alvarez is a killer, and he walked through him like he was just going for like a fucking Sunday stroll, bro. Like it was, it wasn't even close. Yeah, I like this fight a lot, but I think it is Arman's time. I think it is. I'm gonna go take Arman. Co-main event though could arguably be the main event. Another great matchup. Neil Magny. At this point, he's just him and Zico. He's won something like, I believe, 5 of his last 6 fights. The only loss in there was a main event loss to Michael Chiesa. So that was a good fight. It's coming off a banger with Max Griffin, which happened in March. Taking on one of the best prospects in the division, Shavkat Ramonov. This is a dude, 15-0, undefeated in the UFC, 3-fight winning streak inside the UFC. And he's looked unchallenged, virtually unchallenged. It's been effortless, essentially.
His whole career, Josh. He's finished every single fight.
Correct. It's been effortless. And he's taking on one of the toughest, most durable guys in the UFC. Right now, this is kind of the test. This is, if we think the main event's going to answer some questions, Neil Magny, anytime he fights a prospect, it answers fucking questions, dude. Like he's well-rounded in every single area. As of right now, Shavkat Ramonov is like a 3.5 to 1 favorite. Seems a bit wide to me personally, but what do you think? Who do you got on Saturday?
Man, dude, it's hard to beat a guy who's finished every single opponent. But the thing with Neil Magny is, though, he's, like you said, very durable, very tough, great cardio. I almost think if this was 5 rounds, this would benefit Neil Magny, or maybe not.
Who knows? Yeah.
Who knows?
It could just mean a longer beating for all we know.
For all we know, yeah. But I mean, as of lately though, he's been tough, man. He hasn't gone and finished or anything. Obviously, that Ponzinibbio fight, but that was a 5-rounder. Obviously, back in the day, got cut in a submission against RDA. But I mean, he's only grown and gotten better. The thing with Neil Magny is, I don't want to say anything bad about him. I feel like he's kind of like balanced everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's very well-rounded.
He's very well-rounded, but it almost feels like he doesn't extremely exceed somewhere to an extent. You know what I mean? Obviously, he has like very good things. His cardio is great. Like I'd say that's the one thing that's like his like end all be all. For him to succeed in this fight, though, Josh, I think he's gonna have to start off hot, but he's gonna have to, deal with the fire. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to. Yeah. He needs to be a fireman, Josh. He needs to put out a fire. And this is Josh. We're not, usually Neil Magny's fighting, like house fires, like building. He's fighting a forest fire, Josh. I think it's shot Ramonov.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't know how he's gonna deal with it, man. This is a tough piece to crack because, one, in his UFC tenure, I have not seen him be really hurt, damaged. I don't think he's been taken down. I don't know what the fuck I would do if I was Neil Magny. You know what I mean? And then one, he beats every guy. Not by decision, by finishing them.
Yeah.
If this was war, there'd be 15 bodies on this man. I'm picking Shavkat Ramonov, man. I can't even say his name. But
Shavkat Ramonov.
Shavkat Ramonov, yes.
Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting it.
I'll get better at it when he becomes champ.
When he becomes champ. Oh, man, him and Hamzat one day.
That's what everybody's saying. Someone said this would be the closest thing we would get to Bilal Muhammad and Chimaev.
Really?
I disagree with that though, because Bilal isn't like a crazy cardio machine like that, and it's not like he has bad cardio. But I don't know. I didn't agree with that. Maybe the wrestling aspect, but even then, I don't even think it's the same kind of style.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that statement.
But I keep seeing those statements though.
Yeah,
that's your next list, Josh. 10 reasons why Chimaev and Bilal Muhammad are not Neil Magny and Shavkat Ramonov.
Reason number 1, they are different people. Number 1, Neil Magny is not Hamzat Chimaev. Yeah, so...
You're telling me you're scenario Neil Magny was Chimaev and now Bilal Muhammad?
I know. Shocking, I know. Anyways, as far as our fight goes, I'm gonna go ahead and take Shavkat Ramonov. So, anyways, man, I think it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good test, but I think he's up against it, man. I think it's gonna be tough for him. So, anyways, moving. I mean, as far as like the rest of the card goes, I think it's a very, very good card. What fights are you most looking forward to?
I need to go to the former black belt killer, Rodolfo Vieira versus Chris Curtis, Josh. What a banger. I think for me, going into this fight, the biggest question is going to be, and it's been the question for his whole UFC career, the cardio. And I'm talking about Chris Curtis' cardio, Josh. I'm talking about Rodolfo Vieira's cardio. How is it going to be? And also, I think one of the biggest things he needs to improve on, too, is his hands. Because once he becomes a changer on the feet, he can go to what he's good at, which is jiu-jitsu and taking people down and his judo throws. You know what I mean? If he can become a danger on the feet, and he doesn't have to be fucking Israel Adesanya on the feet.
No.
He just has to have enough on the feet to be able to be like, oh shit, I need to work, Oh, and then throw the takedown. And maybe not even give the takedown that early. Just kind of, it might be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Work against the fence, work on some tie clinches, you know what I mean? Make the other guy work and tire him out so you can get to your next position. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Grow as a fighter and evolve. For Chris Curtis, though, he's just a great, well-rounded guy, man, with good power. And he's riding a 7 unbeaten fight win streak, I believe, going into this fight.
Something like that, yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Brendan Allen, Phil Haas on those. Yeah. So against Rodolfo Vieira, I mean, he's going to have a tough night out. I do think this is an interesting matchup because he was supposed to previously fight Dreekis, which I was like, damn, that's a winner gets into the rankings fight.
Yeah.
Instead, he's fighting Rodolfo Vieira. Respect for taking the fight. He wanted to get one in because, I mean, really, he's been active since entering the UFC. I mean, he fought in near the end of the year twice, and fought in November, fought in December, and it's been 6 months. He took half a year off. Fine. Coming back, taking on Rodolfo Vieira, and I'm curious to see if he comes back again this year. I do definitely wish we would have seen him earlier, but I guess maybe he just wanted to take some time off because, I mean, it was 2 back-to-back fights in a month span, so I get it, but I don't know. I would have liked to see a little bit more activity since he came in so hot, but hey, man, it's his life. You know, who knows how his whole situation is, but it's good to see him back.
Yeah, same. And I like the matchup a lot, dude. I really do like that matchup a lot. I understand that, like, neither one of these guys may not make it into the rankings, but I still think, like, stylistically, super interesting fight. So we'll see what happens there. It's impossible not to like Chris Curtis. So it's honestly impossible. So we'll see what happens. Thiago Moises is going to be back. He's still a guy that I'm not high on him necessarily. He's like a featured contender, but he's only 27 years old. He's lost 2 fights in a row against Joel Alvarez, who's just a beast. And then Islam Makhachev, and he had some pockets of success in that Makhachev fight that I think some people kind of forget. Not that I blame him because he got smashed in the end, but it is what it is. Tingnan Crispios Giagos, who's like interesting to me because for who he is and for his skill level, he's fought in like a decent amount of big names that you like. He fought Gilbert Burns back in like all the way back UFC 179.
2014. Holy shit.
He fought Josh Emmett. He's fought Charles Oliveira, Jakar Close, Arman Sarukian. Like
the disrespect on Chris Wade.
The disrespect on Chris Wade's good. I don't hope people don't take that the wrong way.
He just beat Lance Palmer.
He did. So there you go. Yeah, man. Anyway, I'm glad to see Thiago Moises back. I still think that kid's got a lot of talent. Same for Chris Giagos. He may not be like future championship material, but he's had some fun fights for sure.
This is really proper matchmaking though. Like these guys should be fighting each other right now.
Absolutely. It makes a lot of sense.
It's the right time.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So we'll see what happens to that one. Rest of the card goes, I mean, our boy Julian Pavia is back. He's one of our boys. He's one of the Courtside Soundoff boys.
He's fighting that guy was obviously, sadly, he lost the fight. He was in my fight of the year contender, like before we had a Yuri versus Glover, dude. Douglas da Silva Andrade with Douglas da Silva Andrade coming from coming from behind victory, man, to get the finish in the second round.
Yeah, that was an insane fight. Absolutely insane. So, yeah, that's still a fight of the year contender in its own right. So that's going to be a hell of a fight. Julian Pavia, our boy, he always comes to bang too. So this should be a really, really good fight. Brian Kelleher is back against Mario Bautista. Brian Kelleher, a guy that always comes to bang, so that should be another fun one. Then opening up the card should be a fun fight. Vanessa Diamopoulos taking on Jin Yu Fry. Winner there possibly breaking into the rankings at 115, or at least getting close to it. So that should be a fun one as well. Yeah, man, is there any other thoughts on this card before we move on to Bellator?
Oh man, I got to shout out my boys at 205, man. Carlos Ulberg, Tafon, and Chukwuki. Look, Carlos Ulberg, man, I think he still has a lot of potential. I think there's a lot to work with there. He came back at the start of this year. I completely forgot he even fought Fabio Charant and got a nice victory there. Tafon, obviously, he came in and he had some love on him because, obviously another Cameroonian represent, a lot of love there. Obviously, how the African community stays strong in MMA, especially in the UFC guys, all those guys, they're like, hey man, we got 3 African champs right now. Like that's the shit. Look at our continent out here, representing. So, I mean, he came in with like not a lot of experience, but he had beaten good guys. He actually beat William Knight, fun fact, before coming to UFC. He fought him in CFFC, back in 2019. So, I mean, he came in, got a nice finish, picked up another one there. Couldn't get it done against Young Park. And then, had another killer. And, Osmot Mirzarknov, obviously a very hard name to pronounce, but that guy was a fucking killer. I was surprised he did that matchmaking, dude, because when I saw that guy fight on the Contenders, I'm like, yeah, this guy's a real fucking deal at 205.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't believe I forgot Carlos Goldberg, dude. My bad, guys. Yeah, that should be a banger of a fight. That's going to be the last one before, kind of the lead-in to, like, the main card. At least according to Wiki, anyway, so.
That's a strong main card, dude. I mean, opening it up, fucking Chris Curtis and Rodolfo Vieira, then to slow it down with Umar Nurmagomedov and Nate Madness, which that's an interesting matchup right there. I'll put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised they're not pushing Umar more. Do you feel the same way?
To a degree. I also think that, like, I'm kind of conflicted about it.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who also don't want to fight him.
I think they don't really. I mean, he also has, like, a different fighting style though than Khabib. I mean, they're both kind of ground-based guys, but he's not as big of a talker. Fights in a way different weight class. I mean, there's reasons why he's not getting pushed. I know, but I think he'll get the push soon though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm just saying because he finishes fights, man. I mean, he has that. I don't know. I just think it's weird that they're. I mean, they tried to get him to Jack Shore fight. That fell through, but that was way back and fucking at the start of the year. That would have been. I mean, that was his chance to get into the rankings, but I'm not sure what happened there. That doesn't even say. I guess it just didn't end up going through.
I guess so. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, man, this is a pretty fun card. In terms of name value, there's not a whole lot of people here you're really casual fans are gonna draw to. But, like, in terms of matchups, especially that main event, co-main event, good as it gets right here. So very, very excited for this one on Saturday. Bellator, though, they're back for the first time in a while, man. I mean,
it feels like forever, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, time fucking flies, dude. May 13th is the last Bellator card, so
over a month, right?
Yeah, over a month. So here we go. Bellator 282 going down for the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. The main event, Gegard Mousasi. Arguably the best 185-pound fighter on the planet right now. I know it's controversial, but, I mean, arguably, I didn't say it was. In his second title reign, looking to make the third defense and also earn his 50th win in the process. Coming off a knockout win over Austin Vanderford earlier this year. He's taking on the undefeated Johnny Eblen, who earned this opportunity with a victory over John Salter earlier this year. Interesting matchup here. I think Johnny Eblen can pose some stylistic issues for Gegard, but probably nothing he's not seen before. What do you think about this one?
Oh man, dude, Johnny Eblen, he was training partners with our boy man who had just fought Gegard, Austin Vanderford. You know, that was a big thing that was a big fear that whole team had, that they were going to have to fight each other leading into a championship fight, or maybe potentially fight each other for a belt. Obviously, they they definitely would have done it, right? Because obviously you're not going to pass up the belt. But man, if it's any similar to how it went to Austin Vanderford, man, I mean, it's going to be a tough night in the office for Johnny Eblen, man. I mean, he just beat John Salter, but we just saw what Gegard did to John Salter, and we just saw what he did to his teammate. I can only imagine Johnny Eblen's going to have. And no disrespect, he's a good guy, but Gegard's on one right now, bro. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to pull some fucking tricks out of the hat and do some crazy shit to make this happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to pull some shit out of the hat. I know you didn't really give your pick there, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it. I don't think he'll be able to. He's never lost, either amateur or professional. I think he's going to get that first loss. No shame in it. I mean, I think Gegard's just on another level right now. I think he's still, I don't want to say he's getting better, but he's becoming a smarter fighter. He's always been one of those guys, like, in cage, has a very high IQ. But you can tell, like, he's losing some speed, but he's making up for it in the way that he's fighting.
Yeah.
Like he's not making
He's also
mistakes.
really in love with the game right now. He talked about it. He's like, I never thought in my career I was ever the best fighter on the planet until his last fight? Or, I don't remember if it was a fight before that, but he's like, right now, I feel like I'm the best at my weight class. And on top of that, he's just in love with the game more than ever. And that's a dangerous combination. And I mean, it could be dangerous to his own demise too, but right now it's working for him.
Absolutely. Like I said, man, he just doesn't make mistakes. I mean, he had a loss. The last loss was in June June 2019 to Rafael Lovato Jr. That was a very, very close fight. Outside of that, he got knocked out by Uriah Hall back in 2015. He's had one super clear, legitimate loss in the last 8 years. So
and he got it back.
He did get it back. Beat him in the rematch a year later. So yeah, Gegard's another level right now. So I'm gonna go and take him to win. Co-main event. It is part of the Bantamweight World Grand Prix, which at this point, I don't even know if you can really call it a Bantamweight World Grand Prix, no offense, just because of how many fucking hits it's taken. But regardless, they got another one, and we're going to pick this one. It's going to be Leandro Higo, coming off, was riding a 3-fight winning streak, but he did defeat Darion Caldwell in the, I believe in the Grand Prix. Unless I'm misremembering. Unless I'm forgetting how because this thing's gone through this thing's changed so many. Okay, never mind. That actually did not take place in the Grand Prix. This is just, that fight happened before, but this thing it's had so many changes, I completely forget who's already fought in it, and it's gone on forever, and there's been so many changes. But regardless, Leandro Higo and Danny Sabatello going to be fighting in the quarterfinals. Danny Sabatello is a guy who's made his name, the Italian gangster, super fun, trash talker, and these two honestly have a lot of heat going into it, so I'm very excited for this one. Go ahead and give me your pick for this one, my man.
Look, it's crazy. You look at Leonardo Hugo's record, 21-5, looks real nice on paper, man. But at the same time, though, when you deep dive into it, Josh, to me, there's some holes, right? He lost to Arian Pico, he lost to Darren Caldwell. There's another one in there. But then he's running a 3-fight win streak, but it's Sean Bunch, Ricky Bandejas, Darren Caldwell. All those guys are good. Obviously, he's one of the ranked guys in this division. But he's one of those guys who's never extremely convinced me. Obviously, he's a good fighter, but at the same time, I feel like he has a level, and you wouldn't think that looking off the record. You see 25-5, you're like, holy shit, that's a nice little solid record. I gotta hear this Danny Sabatello though, man. I feel like he's kind of flourishing right now in these last two wins. He obviously ended Jordan Lugo's win streak, beat Brett Johns, who, I mean, we were raving about Brett Johns. We were talking man, that's such a fucking L for the UFC for cutting Brett Johns, man. I mean, he was 14-0. Only losses were Aljamain and Pedro Munoz, and then he beat Tony Gravely after that, Montel Jackson, and then they decided to part ways for him for some dumb reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, look, man, I may sound like a shitting on this fight. I'm actually not trying to shit on this fight, but Bellator's, and a lot of it's stuff they kept not controlled. Their bells, I gotta go ahead and say, dude, their Bantamweight World Grand Prix has been a bit of a clusterfuck. That being said, I think this is actually one of the greatest matchups in it. I think both these guys are very, very close stylistically, but Angel, let me toss it back to you. Who are you picking to come out of this one?
Dude, I'm picking the Italian gangster Danny Sabatello.
You're damn right you are!
I want some more shit talk.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm picking him. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick him as well. Dude, this kid has won me over in every single interview. I say he's like 30, but
I mean, I do think he can legitimately be Higo though, and yeah, I know. Higo's one of those guys that I look at the division, I'm like, he's good, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he beats Stotts. I don't think he beats Archuleta. I don't think he beats Mix. I don't think he beats Horiguchi. I don't think he beats Magomed. I'm just gonna be honest. He could beat Sabatello, I'll tell you that.
No, I agree. I don't think he's going to though. I'm gonna go and take Danny Sabatello, man. This kid, I like him a lot, man. He's so funny. And he's also a legitimately good fighter. His last fight was a banger, so very, very excited for this one.
Man, if he wins, him and Stotts are about to have a good back and forth.
Oh, you know it, dude. I mean, in terms of fight, I don't think the fight will be close, but
Stotts is a funny guy though. He doesn't try to talk shit, but he just, his voice and just, I don't know, dude. I think it's gonna be great.
I agree. Anyways, man, as far as the rest of the card goes, what are some fights you're looking forward to?
I mean, Josh, we gotta pick the other kind of co-main, Magomed versus Enrique Barzola, Josh. We can't skip over that.
Yeah, true. I'm honestly shocked this one's not in the co-main position.
Well, you know why Donnie Sabatello.
No, I know why. I mean, he's made a name for himself.
Yeah,
or he's in the process of doing so. He's doing a lot of high profile interviews. Definitely one of the bigger names on the card. But yeah, I'm surprised this one's still below it. Which means I think Magomedov might have a shot. Look, as far as this whole Grand Prix goes, dude, I think it's probably Magomed or Rufon Stotts. I think those are my leading two, at least in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think that's, yeah. I mean, with Horiguchi out of the mix now and obviously no Pettis, I mean, yeah.
That's where I'm at. So, yeah, I get why he's below it, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this.
I mean, to be honest though, like, if you're in that, like, in the tournament bracket, I feel like you guys are kind of shared. Like, you're part in the way of the co-main and the main, you know what I mean, in a sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm super excited for this fight. I'm very, very excited for this one. As far as the rest of the card goes, dude, we gotta also go ahead and give a shout out if we're sticking on the main card to our boy Brennan Ward. Obviously he's gone for such a long time and he had all those legal issues. He had a lot of battles with addiction. He took 5 years off, came back, knocked out Brandon Bell. Brandon was a one-off fight. He didn't have a contract. They were just giving him one off to see how he looked, and it beat the shit out of him. So now they're giving him another fight. He's going to be opening with the main card. It's Cassius Kane, which is probably the greatest fighter name I've ever heard.
Cassius Killer Kane. I like that.
That's sick. So I'm already a fan of this guy. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
One under it though. That's wow. That's a fucking fight right there. That could be a main event or co-main in of itself.
No, absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
That's crazy that this is below Brendan Ward and Cassius Kane.
No, for sure. I'm shocked that Brett Primus is that below, like that far below, like or below. Not even on, not that far below, but like not on the main card. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Alexander Shavli and Brent Primus, dude. How the fuck this fight's gonna go? I have no idea. But Christ's sake, it's about a. That's a tough one, man. I'm curious to see how Brent Primus does in this.
Yeah, same. That should be a lot of fun. One below that too, Kat Zingano, Pam Sorensen, winner of this should get a title shot. I know that Kat Zingano was offered a title shot, but I guess she said she still is like, I don't know why she turned it down, but there's a lot of drama with that. Regardless, though, yeah, it's a whole story. But Kat Zingano, she wins here, she should get a title shot. I think that's legitimately the only interesting fight for Cyborg, you know?
Yep. And another crazy fight, Josh, under that.
Yeah, I mean, you take that one.
Anatoly Tokov, man. I mean, this guy's a fucking savage. I mean, God, dude, it's kind of crazy to think this guy, like, I mean, he should probably be fighting for a title, right? Like,
yeah, probably.
This guy's a fucking killer. I mean, finish after finish, and with the record this big, man, I mean, he's deserving of a title very soon. That's also a tough fight at 185 for that. Our boy Gegard, if that does come around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fighting Muhammad Abdullah. Did I pronounce that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, man, this is another fight where, like, dude, this Bellator card is deep. In fact, Anatoly Tokov is not on the main card. It's wild to me. 30-3, and in Bellator, I believe he's undefeated. Yeah, undefeated in Bellator. He's beaten Shlemenko, Gerald Harris, a couple other good guys in there. So he's another guy that down the line could be a challenge for Mousasi. Sabah Humasi is back. This guy always comes to bang. Glad to see him. Alejandra Lara, big fan of her. She's going to be back. Cody Law taking on James Gonzalez. Cody Law is another one of those guys. They've done this a lot. He actually fought relatively recently, back in March. He's a former wrestler, has a lot of like amateur wrestling talent, and he's back again. That should be a lot of fun. And then Dan Moret is another guy who I thought like he had a bit of a rough UFC run, but he also fought some tough guys in there as well. And he's had he came in and upset Daichi Yamaguchi in his first fight, which is a terrible decision, I thought, but regardless, still picked up the win. And he had a nice fight against Spike Carlisle back in December. And he's going to be taking on Kilias Mota back on the prelim. So yeah, man, this is a deep Bellator card. I feel like we very rarely get Bellator cards that are this deep.
It is. They did a really good job.
Yeah. And dude, I mean, the next Bellator card too is a banger as well. I mean, I know we're looking ahead like a month from now, July 22nd, Bellator 283. Patricky Pitbull defending against Sydney Outlaw. That should be a banger. And then also Douglas Lima, Jason Jackson. So,
wow.
Yeah, man.
We're going to get that fight finally. That was supposed to be on our, was it the last card?
I think London, yeah.
Yeah, man, that kind of blows that we're getting it a little later because we wanted to see it sooner, but we're still going to get it, so can't complain.
Yeah, so very, very excited for this card, man. Going down this Friday, like I said, on Showtime. So, as far as the card goes, as far as the MMA, the boxing, anything else we can talk about, my man, before we close out?
I mean, one thing. I mean, we don't have a lot of news, man, but I wanted to bring it up to you. I know I probably should have mentioned it before the show, but Song Yadong versus Corey Sandhagen got announced, Josh. I mean, let's kind of talk about that because I feel like we can talk a lot about Corey Sandhagen and kind of his whole situation and kind of his position in the division because, I mean, Josh, if he does this, he kind of locks himself out of a title shot to an extent.
Mm-hmm. He does, and I gotta say it, I hate this matchup for him.
That's a tough fucking fight. You gotta respect the fuck out of the guy though, because that guy comes.
No, I respect him.
Last 3-4 fights, bangers, like, dude, like, and performances, like, guy's a savage. I need to give it to him, but man, dude, T.J. Dillashaw, Aljamain Sterling, Petr Yan, all losses on your record, man, and all those guys are in title contention, former champs, title talk, like. Song Yadong's on the come up, and he's that fucking killer. He's that dude. He's only getting better. And Corey Sandhagen, you need to win that fight, brother. You know what I mean? You cannot lose that fight.
Yeah, man. It is, it is impossible to not respect Corey Sandhagen. He's a guy that'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. A lot of people say that, but Corey Sandhagen's actually that guy. That being said, I still don't like this fight for him. Song Yadong is a monster, and he's only getting better. So, maybe from that aspect, maybe it makes sense to a degree to take this fight whenever Song's so young, But still, regardless, man, that's a hell of a fight. So I'm excited for that one.
He's really putting himself in a gatekeeper position, though.
He is, and that's not terrible. But it's still, I mean, he's got to hope that, like, at the top, a lot of those top guys start losing,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. Is there any other news?
And then last night, Josh.
Yeah.
Joshua Usyk, date and place was announced. Did you know this? Yes.
They're going to be fighting in Saudi Arabia at the Jeddah Superdome, I think, August 20th, maybe?
Yep. Yeah. Rage on the Red Sea, man. I mean, that's a title for you right there.
Mm.
Man, Josh, I'm here on Twitter right now. I'm gonna put in my vote in. Early on, I'm not gonna announce the site that announced this on Twitter because I'm not gonna give them any free promotion. But they put out a tweet. Who are you backing in the rematch? What do you think the percentages are? Usyk versus Joshua. Give me a rough ballpark.
Usyk 85%.
It's Usyk 67%, Joshua 32%. I happened last night, so there had been a lot of UK fans.
Oh, okay.
Or this morning it happened, actually. My bad. But I mean, there you go. Early on, that's what we're looking at. And how do you feel about the venue? How do you feel about the rematch happening? Didn't take away any step away money, and obviously Usyk taking a step back from the whole situation in Ukraine to defend his title.
To a degree, I think it's funny that it's happening in Saudi Arabia. I think it's funny just because, like, have you been following all the stuff that's going on with, like, have you heard about all the golf stuff? Like, I can't think of the name of the league. It's like a golf league that was formed from essentially Saudi cash, and essentially they're like starting their own golf league to compete essentially with the PGA Tour. You heard about this at all?
No, I haven't. What the fuck?
So it's huge. Because a lot of players are going over there and they're getting banned from the PGA for playing, but they're getting a shit ton of money from the Saudi government. They're essentially trying to sports wash, and they've done this with WWE, and it's like really big news. Because I think Tiger Woods turned down like $1 billion to play for him. Like, with a B, $1 billion. So, yeah, it's big news. And then, like, I haven't heard shit from mainstream news about, like, them going back and having this fight in Saudi Arabia. I think it's kind of funny. I'm fine with it. I really don't think it's, like, a huge deal. Especially considering, like, in fighting, like, these guys, they got to get paid what they're worth. And, if they're willing to fork out money, I really don't care. So, but I am looking forward to the fight. I think it's insane that it's taken this long to actually happen.
But you gotta think about the Usyk question.
Well, yeah, but Usyk enlisted in the military in March. It had already been 6 months since, like, he fought Joshua the first time. The whole reason why, like, I mean, people forget Joshua nearly stepped aside to let Fury fight because Fury wanted to fight Usyk for undisputed, and then he nearly stepped aside and let that fight happen because he, got offered a payout. So this fight's been postponed a couple of times, and this is supposed to happen in July, and it's insane. It's been it'll be dead ass almost a full year by the time they step in there. But that being said, I still am pretty excited for it. I definitely think it's a fight that I really. There's a path to success for Joshua, but it's going to be tough, man.
I mean, he's done it before. He can do it again, man. I will say that. Obviously, I'm not trying to preview it too hard.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to fight a certain way in a very calculated manner to beat this guy. And whether or not he can do it, I mean, that's up to him, man. Because I think Joshua's one of those guys that, one, the physical is there. He has that down, right? Height, size, shape, length, cardio, you name it, right? Athlete, gifted. The boxing is also there. I don't know if it's a self-belief thing. I don't know if it's a game plan thing. I don't know if it's a mental thing. But for some reason, I don't know if it's an ego thing. He comes in, he's like, dude, I'm fucking knocking this guy out. What? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the other question I have about him. What is the missing link in some of these fights, man? Obviously, I'll say this. Andrew Ruiz fight made a mistake, right? But even then, dude, he's been caught. He's fucking the Klitschko fight. He got hurt, and he had to react. It's almost like he has to get hurt and then come back and win to an extent. And that hasn't been the story of his career, He's not fucking, oh my God. There was someone like that. There's an MMA fighter our boy Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He has to get dropped and then react and then come back.
Yeah, and that's GG. If you knock down Charlie Olives, it's game over for you. You heard him. It's over. Yeah, man. He's not. I don't think Joshua's entirely like that, but I definitely see what you're trying to compare him to. I see what you're saying. But yeah, man, I'm psyched for that rematch. Look, man, Usyk's gone through a lot of shit, man. So if he can get a dub for the nation of Ukraine.
Oh, dude, you know that man's coming out with the military behind him.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude, for sure.
This is some Black Bomber vibes, dude. You know what I mean? That's what was his name? I can't remember the boxer, but that was his nickname, the Black Bomber. Obviously that name has not aged well. But Joe Louis, I mean, obviously it was a different time, but he was fighting the German Schmeling, right? And it was during that Matt Schmeling, yeah, it was during that World War era, I believe, and it was kind of this thing of him representing the U.S. and him fighting this German guy who's a fucking killer and a beast, and there was just something behind it. It was he was just representing the community, and I think in a really weird indirect way. Obviously, Joshua's not from Russia or anything, but I think when guys are in their home country, stuff's going on, when they go into matches or into fights or wherever it may be, or even a sport event, they kind of carry this certain thing I'm not doing this for myself, I'm doing it for them. And especially if it's a sport where you can represent a nation, and obviously he's representing himself, and that's representing his country.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Oh
man, let's close it out on that, Josh. I don't think I could get any better than that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and close it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's a bit of a longer one. But regardless, we hope you guys did enjoy. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at Angeltick_01 at Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace and bye, grease. Mouse click.